All right, so in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about reading, and then I'm going to be done for the day. Um, when you take a look at Plato's Phaedrus, note I haven't pulled out Plato's Phaedrus yet, by the way. And if your instinct is to try to read it by yourself right now, it's hard. It's hard. It's a hard thing to read. It's difficult. It's difficult for a bunch of different reasons, and I'll get into those later, but it's tough. Basically, the thing was written 2,500 years ago, which means it was written in a world that, in a lot of ways, looks different from the one that we live in now. A lot of ways it's the same, but in a lot of ways it's different. It's hard to understand. Also, just due to a kind of, I don't know how to explain this, just like American legal issues, it's translated into English. Obviously, I'm not having you read it in ancient Greek, but it's translated into English. But the translation is from like the year like 1860, and I did that, and I did that because it's free. If I could get a translation for you from like 1980 or 1990 or 2000, but they would want you to pay for those books because the translator would like to be paid. Whereas people that are dead, you don't really have to pay them so much anymore. Like Shakespeare, you don't have to pay him for his stuff, so I can just give it to you for free. So I have a copy of Plato to give you. On the website, you can see it's right there. You can click on it. Now I could have made you buy a book, but I decided to give you a book for free. So the good news is you don't have to buy a textbook for this class, so that's nice. The bad news is that the book is kind of old, and so the language is a little out of date. So like one of the first words you're going to see in there is whither, meaning like where are you coming from? Whither have you come from? There's some old-fashioned language, and we'll deal with that. The reading in this course is difficult. The reading in a lot of college courses is more difficult than you're used to. It's an important thing to think about to understand what reading is. A lot of students see Plato, for example, which we're going to go over. A lot of students see the Plato and they try to read it, and they go, I don't understand this, it's broken, or I don't understand this, I'm stupid, and then they throw it away. That's because they're used to thinking about words, and a book is something made out of words. A text message is also something made out of words. But text messages and books are real different. Text messages are designed to communicate information quickly and efficiently. And so if somebody texts you and they say, meet me at the corner of 3rd Avenue and 60th Street, you read it once, you understand it, and you move on with your life. You never read it again, and that's the end of that. And it's made out of words. Then you pick up Plato, and you go, it's probably the same thing. It's also made out of words. And you try to read it, figuring, I'm just going to read this, learn what it says, and never think about it again. But it doesn't work like that, and students think it's broken, or students think they're dumb. Well, the good news is it's not broken, and you're not dumb. But the important thing to understand is that the kind of Plato and a lot of the things you're going to get in college are meant to be read over and over and over and over. They are meant to be studied. They are meant to be read slowly. You are supposed to stop in the middle, think about what you're reading, and then keep going. You don't do that with a text message. Actually, you do that with text messages sometimes. If you have a crush on somebody and you're not sure if they like you back, you will get together with your friends and you will analyze their messages. They put those on Instagram and look at the caption and look at the hashtags, and you try to figure out if this person really likes you or not. Or is this like a secret message to me? That kind of analysis is what we're doing in here, going through Plato. You're going to have to read it carefully and slowly. You have to talk to other people about it in order for it to make sense. In that sense, even though Plato's text messages are made of words, and Plato's made of words, and music has lyrics, I would like you to think about Plato as being more like an album than it is like a text message. Because when you read a text message, you read it once, you don't think about it anymore. But when you listen to an album, nobody buys an album, puts the headphones in and listens till you get some new like Kanye West album or something, and you listen to it and you listen to it and you listen, and you're like, okay, well, I listened to this once, good, what's next? That's not what you do with music. When you have music that you like, you listen to it again and again and again and again, and you listen to it when you're cleaning, and you listen to it when you're walking, and you listen to it at the gym, and you listen to it when you're having sex, and when you listen to the music over and over and over again. And if you've ever done that before, I bet you'll know that you can notice things when you hear the album for the 5th time, or the 20th time, or the 100th time, or you go, oh, this is my favorite part, or you go, or if you don't know the words, you might listen to something 10 or 20 times, and then you'd be like, what are they saying here? And you Google the lyrics to see what they're saying. And then maybe they say something in the lyrics you don't understand, like someone's name, so you look them up to see who they are. you're doing research. You are thinking, and you are going over the same thing again and again and again. Plato is like that. With Plato, you're going to have to read it many times, over and over and over again. You're going to have to stop and think about it. You're going to need time in your life to kind of take a break, come back to it. That's why you can't cram it all in at the last second. So that's the best way to kind of think about reading for this class. And you're going to look things up. You're going to have to like Google search some stuff, and you're going to have to look up dictionary definitions, just like you might need to look up slang in Urban Dictionary to see what the hell people are talking about. So that's basically, it's an important way to think about reading and what reading is in this course. It's a different kind of reading than you're used to, but please don't think that the reading is stupid or broken. And please do not think that you are stupid. This is supposed to be difficult. Actually, the nearest thing I can compare Plato to, and other things that you'll read in college, is it's a little bit like religious people in the Bible. You know, it's like they know what's in there. You know what happens in the Bible. Christians can tell you what happens to Jesus in the Bible. It's not like a surprise. People don't turn the page and go, oh no, Jesus, is he okay? People know what happens to Jesus in the Bible, but they still read the thing. And they read it over and over and over and over again. They study it, they take it with them. When they're having a bad day, they read it. When they're having a good day, they read it. It's something you return to again and again. So in that sense, reading Plato is a little bit like reading the Bible. It's the kind of thing that you are to study and kind of take seriously. And it's also a good time. I know a lot of my students don't have trouble with that idea at first, but it is enjoyable to read something complex and to understand something difficult. It is a kind of enjoyment. It's not the kinds of enjoyment you're used to. You're probably used to going to the movies and seeing something really exciting and having a great time right at the beginning. Plato doesn't work like that. You're not going to have fun at the beginning. You're going to be mad because it's so frustrating. But it's something that it is enjoyable just to because it's the movies are fun, but they're simple. When you read Plato, it's difficult and it's enjoyable. I think it's like lifting weights. You can go to the gym and you can lift weights that are very, very easy to lift. Very, very easy. You can just grab like little 5-pound weights, little 2-pound weights, and just like do all the curls you want with the little 2-pound weights. But you're not going to get any muscles doing that. And that is a little bit like what going to the movie. If you just go see a bunch of Marvel, and I love Marvel movies, but if you just go see a bunch of Marvel movies, it's like lifting 2-pound weights. It's perfectly fun. It's fine to go to the gym and do that. You're not hurting anybody. I don't mind. It's, if you enjoy that, go for it. But with Plato, it's like you're lifting something very heavy, and that builds muscle. So to study Plato and to really like read difficult texts builds muscle, but of course the muscle that it builds is your brain. It causes your brain to get bigger. I would argue it causes your soul to get bigger, but we'll get to that in Socrates. But it enlarges your brain. And again, not because of the content. It's not like if you memorize what Plato said, you'll be wiser. It's just that trying to understand something that is extraordinarily difficult is like picking up a very heavy weight. And notice, by the way, that weightlifters, they don't just pick it up once and put it down and go home. You do it again and again and again and again and again. Same thing with Plato. You read and you reread and you reread and you reread and you reread. And then eventually, your brain is bigger, not because of what's in the Plato, but because you spent a lot of free time trying to understand something that is very difficult to understand, just like weightlifters spent a lot of their free time trying to lift things that are very hard to lift. Okay, cool. So this kind of ends the sort of first day's content. This is what a single day's content looks like. There's going to be 2 sets of videos like this per week. So I've got 5 videos in this set, and there'll be 5 videos put up later in the week, and then it starts. So I think it's going to be up on like Mondays and Wednesdays, and that's basically the gist of the class. So if you made it through these videos, then you made it through half a week. So that's pretty good. And I'll be back with more videos later, and thank you for joining me. You guys are fantastic. All right, and thanks for coming to class. I know BMCC is crazy right now, and COVID and all of this stuff, and I don't know. I'm glad to be your professor, and I hope that you get something out of this experience, and I will see you next time when we will talk about Plato for real.